How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the James Lab podcast. And today, my special guest is Tino from Tino's Genetics. How you doing today, Tino?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for having me here.
Man, so we've been hanging out a little bit lately. Brandon brought you on the show when we filmed the first episode. We went to lunch and hit it off. And man, thank you for coming out.
Yeah, it was a blast. That barbecue was really good.
We got good barbecue here. Not like Texas, but it's it's good for California.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, being able to see the facility and everything the first time, I was like really blown away. It's like really cool what you're doing here, and I really like it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So let's talk about you and how you get your start in the industry.
Yeah, well, I got my start kind of, just growing, selling weed.
Yeah.
I first started out just selling really. Mm-hmm. And then I just evolved into growing and making seeds. You know what I mean?
Did you sell before you smoked, or did you start?
Yeah, I did. I sold weed before I smoked weed.
That seems to be a common theme with a lot of people. But I mean, I think I was definitely, I got into psychedelics a little first. But
yeah, I was like more like the athlete type of guy. I got hurt playing sports. So I started selling weed, and then I started smoking weed. I really like fell in love with it, and then I was lucky enough to meet somebody that, had really good weed, and I became like the guy that had the good bud, and this is like 02, 03 type of era, and so yeah, I met him and I just got all this weed, like, I started selling a lot of bud, and being able to see all the different types and question like, all right, where's this stuff coming from? Who's growing this stuff? It's like really good. And seeing all the different kinds come out. And it really was just like, I want to get into this. I want to grow, and I want to learn how to make seeds. And I really started growing like 06, 07.
Nice.
And really, really got into like wanting to make seeds
right
into the growing. So, I mean,
nice. Did you have friends that made seeds? Is that how you got desire, or
No, I didn't really have anybody, no forms.
Yeah.
I'm like nobody in my family, I'm first generation.
Right.
I just kind of figured it out like kind of on my own. I got a Soma style. Uh-huh. That's the only book I kind of found. And I started reading there, and he started talking about how to make feminized seeds, like naturally, like how you naturally reverse the plant. And so I started doing that like 07, 08, right when I started learning how to grow. Yeah. So it was like, I figured out really quick. It's like, I got to learn how to grow first before I make seeds. And, I was trying to do both at once. And, it did like develop, together. Right. You know what I mean? But, so, my whole thing was to make feminized seeds and to make stuff for myself. That was really good. I wanted to make, a strain everybody knew. Like, back then you stick your head in a bag. You could be like, oh, that's Bubba Kush. Oh, that's Blue Dream. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's this Kush or whatever. Used to be able, oh, this purple, whatever. You used to be able to be distinctive. There wasn't like a million strains. There's a lot more, but not like there is now, There wasn't
300 gelato strains.
Yeah, exactly. A million runts. It's like, right. And then you got the guys that are kind of making fun of gelato and Skittles, but they like love runts, and everybody's confused,
Totally confused. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's confusing. Quality is confusing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that are confused by what quality is, and Instagram is 100% to blame. I think that before Instagram, we saw the bud, and there was a lot more about effect. But then all of a sudden, Instagram came out, and we saw these beautiful photos, and people were like, "That's the one."
Yeah, definitely.
I want that because the way it looks.
That's definitely there's Instagram weed. It's definitely a thing
for sure.
Like back then, it effects is really what mattered, and and the high. You want to we want to feel it. You know what I mean? And some of this stuff now is just people are seeing pictures and basing their breeding off of that, and not even really growing it out and smoking it. I laugh at some people that, they post a picture and they're like, it's like wheat 6 or 7. They're like, this is my keeper. I'm like, so you're not even picking, you're not smoking it, or you're just going by how it takes Instagram pictures. Yeah. It's like, okay, come on, man. Like,
so many people were like that.
Yeah. I totally base everything off of not really like tests so much as like just me smoking it, because I'm the test, it's what I want to smoke. It's what gets me high. It's what I like. Cause that's why I originally started. I didn't originally start making seeds to sell them. I made them for myself.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of testing, a lot of R&D, smoking, smoking my own strains.
Yeah.
And then also stress testing. I fully believe in, stress testing your plants, growing them out. And that's the only way you're going to really get strong films. I really stand behind my films. Yeah. And I've done a lot of work. Like I've been messing around since 2008. I haven't really made serious films till like about 2015, 2016. Mm-hmm. And then, my company I started it up in 2017.
So you started with a lot of stable genetics though back in the day, because I feel like the stuff back, 15 years ago was a lot more stable than it is today, especially sexually stable.
Definitely. No, it really was a lot more stable stuff.
Yeah.
And it was easier for me to really learn more about breeding mm-hmm. and how to make good films.
Right.
And, how it all works. Because I'm kind of just, going off that Soma book and teaching myself a lot of trial and error, a lot of growing and to get where I'm at today.
Well, if you cross stuff that's very distinct, if you're crossing two gelatos, it's hard to see what the progeny is actually mm-hmm. getting from the two parents, which one it came from.
Right.
Whereas if you have like a sativa and you have something that's more
real short.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do. Sativa and something small, something tall.
Yep.
And then the phenos are really easy to pick out.
Absolutely.
It's that's one of my favorite things to do. Like I like doing a lot of breeding with green crack. Nice. I have the old green crack cut.
Green crack.
It's real short.
It's a special strain though.
It's so special.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones, I build a tolerance to it really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
But when you smoke it for the first time after you've harvested it, it'll rock your world.
Definitely.
But then, by the time you're sharing it with your friends a week later, you have this big tolerance to it, and they're all just getting their asses kicked by it.
Yeah, I do the same thing, and but still, I'll think I have this tolerance built up to it, but I'll go to smoke it when I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll just be staring at the wall for 3 hours, it's like, oh my gosh, like I can't go to bed. But yeah, I like to do some breeding with the green crack. It's an old strain. I found it. I'm from Fresno, so it's like a lot of good strains, a lot of good breeders have come out of that around that area.
For sure. And that was Hayes Brothers that originally bred that, I believe, like Blue Dream, Green Crack.
Yeah.
A bunch of awesome stuff.
Yeah, and it's such a unique strain, and so many people grew it. It's really a part of cannabis history. A lot of people grew it, and and I think it's just so special because it grows so much like an indica. It's so small, and it has such a sativa high.
Yeah,
it's really, really unique.
Nitrous oxide and beef jerky.
Yeah.
The best smelling stuff on the planet. Yeah, no, it's an interesting plant for sure.
Yeah, I plan on actually mixing it with Panama Red.
Nice.
Because I actually had it phylosed, the green crack. Mm-hmm. And it's the furthest apart. I know everybody doesn't like phylos or whatever, but they kind of fell off. But it's a long time ago. But it's the furthest apart in the galaxy.
Yeah.
I figure, there's a lot of bottlenecking going on. Like you see the gelato, it's totally crazy, and people don't even realize really what they're doing to the genetics. They don't understand the genetics.
Well, they think they're making outcrosses when they're inbreeding. And I think that's one of the biggest problems today is we get all these guys that are thinking they're making new Stuff. They're thinking they're making novel stuff, and they're not. And
they're taking away from the vigor, and they don't realize you're degrading the genetics. You need to find things that are further apart, bring them together, and that's what creates the vigor. And you find like a special plant. Like I make some crosses sometimes. I'm just like, man, this is better than the mom and the dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
that's really the goal of breeding at the end of the day.
No, it really
is to make something better than the mom and the dad.
Exactly. But you're just like, holy shit, they're complete. It's like a completely new thing. It doesn't really have too much of either character.
Mission accomplished if you make something better than both of the parents.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where a lot of people fall short is they make stuff and it's not better than either one of the parents.
Right. And they don't even test it, and they put it out there, and
so much stuff.
It's a lot of that going on now.
We're doing it as a whole within the industry. It's like the second people get fixated on one thing, whether it's candy or whether it's purple or whether, we start fixating on one thing, we take away a lot of the diversity. So as an industry, and then it doesn't seem like we're doing it because everybody's doing it and everyone jumps on this train and it's not necessarily the right train.
Right. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I have a bunch of gelato crosses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, at least I'm aware of what's going on there. And
it's what sells right now, right? So if you're not following the trends, then you're not necessarily going to be able to sell seeds.
Yeah. I mean, I like to taste the weed to taste good when I smoke it. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
A lot of this stuff now, I'm just like, I feel like we could have hunted this better. Or, some of the stuff is just like not. These are older terps. I'm just like, where are these coming from?
For sure,
they're already done with these.
They're branded as new terps, but they've been around for a long time.
Exactly. It's so crazy to hear some new name on an old. I'm like, no, it's it's Jack Herrera is a big one.
Yeah.
Well,
Jack Herrera used to be good. People don't understand. It's associated with a bad name, but like some of the original Jacks that we were seeing in the 90s and early 2000s, the one I was seeing was like definitely like more complex. It wasn't so straight terpenoline, limonene.
Right.
And it definitely got you ripped off your ass.
Yeah, no, I don't not like it. It's just when somebody presents it as something else.
Yeah.
And then it's clearly this. You can't call it that.
You cannot call it that.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's Blue Dream's another one that got renamed a bunch, and the real Blue Dream is fire. I mean, I think
it really was. The terps got burnt out, here in Cali because so many people were growing it because it was so easy to grow.
Yeah.
You're hitting 3 Eliot back on the double-ended bulbs.
Well, so
a single-ended.
I was getting 2.2 pounds, and like that back in the day was like everyone got 1.5, and then I had gotten 2.2 on that, and it was like I always had this saying that you could shit in the reservoir and still get 2 pounds of light. And
with Blue Dream, you really could. That's say the same thing. I'd be like, you could piss on the plant, and it'll still come out good.
It'll still come out good. It'll big, huge, chunky buds.
We were doing the DWC hydro back then.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, actually. We'll dive into that because you're big into the DWC, and I think you grow really good DWC products. My buddy from Master Yoda, he's a big DWC guy as well. He wins a bunch of competitions and stuff. And so people knock it. People knock hydro, they knock 3-part, they knock all these things, but weed grown correctly is good weed. I feel like weed grown well is good weed.
I feel like a lot of people on the hydro, whatever it is, recirculating, DWC, bubble ponics, whatever it is, it comes down to the flush. Yeah. And you can't flush it. It's a short flush. It's a short flush, and you need to be flushing with nutrients for a period of time.
Right.
And not just, these guys, if you give it 5-7 days of just water, you just ruined your whole crop.
Yeah.
You go in the room, it's sticky, it smells, it's good. And then a couple days later, it's just dry. And, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've flushed for too long. And I really feel like it's in the flush and really what you're putting in the system. If you have healthy roots, if your plant is growing healthy, it's just that little bit at the end. Every medium needs a different flush.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I do the old DWC. I do the general hydroponics buckets, really, but I just make
the old school with the halos.
Yeah, with the halos.
Yeah.
And it's just the rapid growth that you get with deep water culture, especially with those halos. You could totally cheat with the halos because the water can go down.
Right.
So the water level is really important doing DWC and recirculating. But with the halos, it's totally cheating because the water level could almost be empty, but as long as that halo is still dripping on the top, the plants are still fine. I mean, you don't want to do that, but
so do you flush with sugars and like sugars at the end and magnesium?
Yeah, sugars and just a little bit
enzymes.
I don't really push. I just give it like the regular like ripen.
Yeah,
but I just lower the ppms.
Yeah, just
slowly lowering the ppms all the way down, and then within that flush week, week 9 or 10, whatever you decide to do. I usually go 63 to 70 days, depending on the plant. But a lot of my stuff is done at 70 days. So
it's a lot stronger too. I feel like the stuff that goes, because some of the genetics. I mean, it just depends on the varieties you have. But like some of the genetics is like Skittles is like a 53 to 56 day plant. I feel
Skittles is so funny because everybody loves Skittles, and it's like this hash thing, and it is really good. The terps are just amazing. But
terps are good.
Everybody wants these huge washers, right? But Skittles is like 1 or 2%.
No, it doesn't wash well. And it tastes amazing.
It grows like the worst plant ever. Like it just doesn't want to grow.
It's the polar opposite of Blue Dream. So we have Blue Dream over here. It is the exact obvious.
It's like that movie Twins.
Yeah, it's Danny DeVito.
It's Danny DeVito.
It is the Danny DeVito of cannabis.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And I think there are some good Skittle crosses. You helped me you entered in the contest, but you also helped me judge. I feel like you gave a lot of good
fun
feedback.
To judge everything.
Yeah, we had a lot of good entries, and the first and second place were both Skittle crosses on steroids. I feel like they were both stronger than the original.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wasn't trying to talk bad about the Skittles. Is just it really goes to show that terps really win in the end. I mean, look at that plant. It doesn't wash. Everybody's washing it. It doesn't grow. Everybody's growing.
You look at it wrong and it shrivels up. And
so it's like if you have the proper terps, the other stuff doesn't matter. When I'm starting to wash all my strains and getting into washing. I got Gasman Exotics helping me out. He's big into washing. He has a super good brand that's on the come up right now, and he's he's doing great. We haven't known him for a long time. I think like 2016 or 17 now. Yeah,
you guys use resin dial to test for washers?
I haven't yet. Yeah. I want to get into the resin dial. I want to get one of those for sure. It's like a back order something right now. But yeah, the resin dial is like the next step. But right now, I'm just like doing what everybody says. How they say you gotta. It's all funny, you put your fingers on it, you do this, you see how much comes off. You want not the slicker.
No, you want the grit, right?
Yeah, so you want the grittier stuff, not greasy. You want, they say like gelatos don't wash, OGs don't wash, stuff like that. It looks frosty because the stems, of the actual trichrome. You're looking for like a shorter trichrome with a bigger head is really that breaks off easily. Yeah. Is kind of, I'm not an expert, don't quote me, but it's kind of more more for the washing side, but I'm more into the terps. I'm I'm into washing all my stuff right now and getting the proper percentages like to rosin. A lot of people are like, oh, I got whatever percentage they say, 9%, 6%,
19%,
10%, like all this crazy stuff. I'm just like, okay, well, percent of what is that with the food grade?
Yeah.
Is that to hash or is that pressed out, put in the jars?
Right.
I want
where's that falling?
Where is the percentage at? You know what I mean? Because everything that I'm doing, what's the end product. Mm-hmm. And plus there is a lot of leftover food product, like the 160 and the 40.
Sure,
that's what we make. Like the edibles, we make
still great for food.
Great for food.
Great for edibles. All that.
I'm sure a lot of people are mixing it in there till they get higher percentage, and they're calling it
full spectrum.
Full spectrum.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, no. It's just like, hold on. You're making it sound better, but it's like, no. It's like,
you got to put it in there, otherwise it's not full spectrum. It's like, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny.
Silly. Yeah, there's a lot of silly stuff going on in the industry,
There really is. Yeah, you see a lot of it on Instagram. It's just like, a lot of the Instagram breeding is crazy. The picture breeding is just, it's a lot of, I do my best to get out there and try to teach people the right way. And we do a lot of like home grower stuff.
Yeah.
So we try to really get like new growers, the people that don't grow, try to get people on the page that don't grow and then convert them into growing.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And like, look, this is really easy. I really try to get them into the deep water culture right off the bat. Cause I feel like it's easy. I feel like it's forgiving. Some people would be like, it's not forgiving, it's really quick, but compared to like soil, I feel like it really is easier to understand. Like what's in that bucket.
Right.
If it's not right, you could just dump it out.
It's so funny because I have the exact opposite feeling because I've struggled with DWC and soil has that buffer. And so I like the buffer and then I like cocoa. And I like the effect of soil is the main thing. But like, it's what you know. And once you've like mastered it, it's very easy, whatever it is.
Right. And I have that old 3-part nutrients from, not the nutrients, but the old chart.
Yeah.
And it just really works well. And it's like really hard to find online. I don't know why, but I run that. The General Hydroponics 3-part, in there, and it works really well. I mean, the growth is just, 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, I can't veg any longer than that, and the plants are just absolutely huge. I think the biggest one I got was, I've hit a pound on the plant, but like consistently is like anywhere from like 10 ounces, 12 ounces, some 14s, but it's like 3-week veg. Yeah. You're getting 10 ounces on a plant. And it's really fire. It's good, and it stinks. You do the flush right, everything it comes out, and you're really here to be like, look, guys, you could still get just as good as a weed with DWC, and I could see like organics being better in the way of like more of a shelf life. Yeah, it probably has more of a longer shelf life. Yeah. And organics is could be better or whatever, but it doesn't mean that DWC is terpless and it's not good weed.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the grower too. It has a lot to do with the grower and a lot to do with what they're doing with it and flushing it and all these things. But a lot of guys, they have stuff that's tasteless too, that doesn't taste with a lot of terps.
Exactly.
It looks amazing and they're giving everybody else a bad rap.
Right.
But
yeah, I've seen a lot of that with organics. It's like some of it's like really good, and some of it's like really just not that good. You know
well, the funny thing is so in the contest that we just judged, which I'm announcing in a couple of days, but we're actually filming, and this won't be aired for a couple of weeks. But we had cocoa, we had soil, we had DWC, so we had hydroponics, all against each other. And the guys who say living soil is the best, hands down, they were wrong as far as what the loudest bud was.
Right.
It was grown in cocoa.
Yeah.
So, and then the living soil came in second, and, and it's real interesting because, people always want to say, well, this is the very best way. And it's like, well, that's the very best way for you.
Right. It's that's what I really try to tell like people that are starting to growing. We have like I said, the home growers just start growing. It's like, look, just because it's that guy's doing it that way or this guy's doing, there's a million different ways you can grow.
Yeah.
You just need to find your way. Like you're not going to do it exactly like how I am. I'm going to guide you, and you're going to have to find your own little groove.
Yeah.
And that's just how it works for everybody. It's not one way of growing. There's a lot of different ways, and you got to just find your way of doing it that you like to do.
Totally. And I mean, learning how to grow in general is just, that's an art. And that's probably the best thing to learn in the beginning is just how to grow whatever it is. Just growing skills. It doesn't have to be wheat either. You can grow tomatoes.
Yeah, you can grow anything. I always run a garden outside with a bunch of different stuff. I enjoy growing plants and having a garden and everything like that. It's really therapeutic, especially people are just, a lot of these guys, that's what they do in their garden. It's their meditation time. It does a lot of different things for people, not just smoking it, growing it too.
Well, and there's some pride in, people, there's something special about growing something and then consuming it, whether you're smoking it or eating it. You grow a tomato and you eat that tomato, it tastes extra special. That's part of the reason why everyone thinks they have the best weed is because they grew it, and they're like, and because there's an attachment to that plant, especially if you took the time and like breeding's the same way. But if you're growing a plant and you've put the days in, whether it's 53 days or it's 70 days of flower, plus it's a veg, you've cared for that plant throughout its entire life, and then consuming it, you have a special relationship with that plant. Right. And so, and not everybody can understand that, but same thing with breeding. If you're taking two things, you're crossing them together, breeding is the marathon, right? So like it may take you years to properly phenohunt and, or a year to properly get something out to where you could even bring it to market if you do it correct. Right. But then that's really special, and you understand the life that plant and its parents had. And
you know what's gone into it.
Yeah, what's gone into it. And so there's something special about popping a seed that you made and seeing it, to fruition to where you have flower. And that's part of the beauty. And that's why I think everybody should breed. I think there's nothing wrong with people breeding. I think understanding what you're doing is important, but also just going through the process so you can understand that fulfillment, because I get fulfillment out of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I encourage everybody to make their own seeds. And if they have any questions on how to, reverse the plants or anything like that, feel free to ask, and yeah, we promote, the home growers to definitely do their own thing and growing. It's like, what you put into that plant. It's like, you're not at the club or buying weed and you don't have no idea what they sprayed on it or remediated or whatever that word is. Right. You don't know what's on there. And if you grow the plant yourself, you grow it up, what you put into it, the time, the effort, you have a new respect and really passion for it. I really fell in love with growing. I really liked it when I first started doing it.
Yeah. And it's a lot more challenging than people think, but it's very therapeutic at the same time. I mean, right. I think some people get into it for the money and then they realize that it's actual work. That's the other thing. It's like, this is actual work. We're slowly becoming tomato farmers. And I think tomato farmers, they deserve a lot of respect. Yeah. It's pretty amazing what tomato farmers do. Definitely. And I think that cannabis farmers and tomato farmers, there's this celebrity, side of it, but that's more or less, and the financial side of it isn't what it used to be. Mm. And, but you can make a good living, whether you're a tomato farmer or you're a cannabis farmer, and now we can do it legally. So,
yeah, it's been so crazy to see over the last 20 years how everything's changed. And, in cannabis, everything rapidly changes all the time.
Rapidly.
Really quick. This is the new strain. Boom. Now this is the new strain.
It's got to be purple.
Yeah. It's just like, and seeing like the wax, evolve from us, blowing butane through a
PVC
pipe, you know what I mean?
Really?
Like in 2006 or 7 and to where we got the rosin now, it's like just totally crazy to see
wild.
It all come through. Yeah. And it was just all the different techniques along the way.
Right.
I was there in the beginning where we had to go through all the techniques and it was really quick. Oh, what are you doing now? How did you make the pull and snap? Or how did you?
Yeah. We didn't have dab rigs back in the day. We smoked them on coals or whatever. You know, put it in
hot knife.
Hot knife, legendary hot knives, man. I love the hot knives. That's a day wrecker. Especially the first time. You
got to be careful on those.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, hot kniving is where you take hot knives from your parents' drawer, from the silverware drawer, and you put them on the stove till they're red hot. And I wouldn't do it with rosin, but you use old school hash.
Yeah, hash.
And a paper towel tube. Or whatever kind of tube you can. I think people have done it with straws, but the paper towel tube is ideal because you can kind of put the knife tips as you smash and put it in there, and then just get this big, huge, hot, gigantic dab. And cough typically.
It's super hot. You're just like, oh God.
I think we got to the point where we weren't getting to coughs. Like we didn't cough. We got to, but then our friends did. I've told the story about my buddy who he just got so wasted and then went out and sat in his car.
It's like giving somebody their first dab. I used to do it all the time. I was making the dabs back in like 07, 08, like super early on. They come to your house, they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, kind of.
They're down.
I want to, like, what are you doing? Oh, take a dab, check it out. You want to give them a big old dab, but they're like going to chill and smoke a blunt and buy a sack, and they're going to hang out. Just give them this big, huge destroyer dab, all red hot. They hit it. You could just see them, their whole face. You could see them get high.
Right.
Their eyes start watering.
Instantly their ears are purple.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, I gotta go. And they just out here, didn't buy any weed or nothing. They just left.
They just cut out.
Yeah.
With the old dabs, we use titanium too. It's like those things, you get that titanium nail real hot.
It started out with the little glass, the swing arm, and then the glass nail. Yeah. And then we thought we really upgraded when we got the titanium nail.
Right, totally. We had the quartz. It was the quartz.
It looked like a chess piece.
Originally, the quartz little nail. Quartz nail, right? So we had the quartz nail, and then that was like the first rigs that the quartz nail would go in, and you had the little thing over the top of it or whatever.
It's so crazy to think we were smoking that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was making a lot of BHO.
With
back then.
PVC and open
we
blasting.
Finally got the glass, but open blasting.
And did you whip? You used like Pyrex dishes?
Well, that was the thing. We had to figure it all out. At first, we didn't.
Pretty wild.
We didn't. Yeah, it was Pyrex glass. We would double boil it.
Yep.
And we'd be like, okay, if you do this, it turns it yellow.
Yeah, right.
You're like, we don't know. We finally figured out. We were always not letting it finish. It would always be goopy. Well, so I would just leave it in that hot plate, keep longer and longer and longer, and then it finally would turn a wax. Wax. That's how you got the earwax.
Or butter or wax.
Yeah, it looked like earwax. That's why everybody called it earwax. But once I figured that out, it was over.
Yeah.
And
getting slabs as long as your arm, big old chunks. Yeah.
And then after that came like the like shatter and stuff. They were putting it in the purge ovens. And you got the
pizza
ovens,
boxes.
And you got
the slabs in the pizza boxes.
Yeah.
You know all about that.
I know all about we got the pizza boxes.
You have a long history with pizza boxes, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of slabs been in the pizza boxes. But that's not how we came up with that idea. Our brand is pizza Italian involved. You know what I mean? My character is like a pizza guy. I dress up as him. And
where did that evolve from?
So it really evolved from about like 2016, 17. Yeah. I started going to the sessions. It's before we were like, grow, everything's a secret. I don't want to know you, get away. I just sell the packs to this guy and get out of here. I'll buy it from this guy. But now we're like coming out Instagram and
totally.
So I got a brand. I got a big tent. I put this logo on it.
Right.
And we started going to the sessions, and everybody thought I was freaking a pizza guy.
Yeah.
Everybody would come up to the booth, and this is before I had this logo here.
Yeah.
I just had this logo and a big tent and everything, and everybody would come up to the booth thinking we had pizza for sale. And they're like, hey, so how much for a slice? I was like, we don't have any pizza.
Right.
And they would freaking walk away. So I was just like thinking, and it happened like a couple times, a couple sessions, and I didn't do very good at the sesh,
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? I got to figure something out here. So I was like, I was just online looking at different packaging, and the pizza box came up. You put your logo on it. I was like, I'm just going to do the pizza box. And so I got the pizza box. I was like, all right, what am I going to do? They come to the booth. Like, I'm just going to put some weed in here and some seeds and some wax seeds, to try to lure them in, So they would come up to the booth and they would be like, yeah, well, where's the pizza? Sure enough, the next week I'd be like, oh, I got some right here. I turn around, I get the box and I open it up and they're like, oh, it's pretty cool. It's like a conversation starter. And then they tried the stuff, I'd have them. Because my main goal back then when I first started coming out was, and always is to have, a really loud fire strain that people was really distinctive to smell. So I would have at the sesh,
right,
the bud and the wax that I made it, grew it myself, made the wax myself, and then I'd have the seeds available. So I'd be like, all right, take a dab, free dab. Yeah. Everybody's taking a dab. They're like, oh, it's so good. And I'm like, all right, smoke some of this weed. I'm like, oh, man, it's great. Buy the seeds. Like, oh, I don't grow. Well, hey, we could teach you how to grow. And I got a lot of people growing like that. And it's just satisfying to see people grow your stuff out and really come back and be like, man, that was really good. And I started growing and they have a big old huge room now, and that's really how the pizza box came. And then I came up with this guy and I dress up as him and nice. And that's really the whole story there.
Right. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like the die cut packaging. I feel like it's simple, it's cost effective, and check it out. Yeah. I mean, it's great. Die cut is in for one thing, but like you can put 1,000 of these in one little box.
Right. And I have some other packaging too, like boxes, and I have some stand-up packs where it's really like a dab container. Yeah. But it has seeds in it. And it just doesn't work for like the seed banks and people like, oh, I could only fit like 2 of them in a little package.
Right.
So it's like to get a big order or for them to hold it at the seed banks or whatever, it just takes up too much room. And these are perfect. I really like these. A lot of time I put in a really good guy that designed those for me. Even the seed that I'm holding is like reflective.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I like that. I like, details on everything. I want to have like
the details.
I want to have the best stuff. That's why we always started to have. That's why I started growing and want to make my own stuff, because I had so much access, living in Fresno back then to really good bud.
I'm interested about Snow Beef because I'm not a huge fan of apple fritters because it smells amazing, but I feel like the smell doesn't carry over in the smoke.
Right.
If you're smoking a joint of it. But like I always say, apple fritters, Oreos, Purple Punch, they're one step away from being good. I mean, I just feel I'm not a fan of Purple Punch at all.
No,
but I feel like
Purple Punch. Yeah. What's the other one?
Oreos.
Oreos is the one I'm thinking of. Oreos, Purple Punch. Yeah, it's just like, oh my goodness. It's a picture weed.
It's great on Instagram. It looks amazing.
Man, they make some decent crosses. They make some really good crosses.
I think that, I mean, that Dante's Inferno, I think.
It's kind of the same.
It might herm out a little bit or whatever, but like, I think it's, as far as the genetics are concerned, man, it's got a really unique nose on it. And I could smell the Oreos in there a little bit, but it's got something. It's got something, and it's not Oreos. I like it much better than Oreos.
Yeah. I grew that in my greenhouse, and I wasn't really a fan of the Dante's because it was just the weakest genetics in there. It was the first one to go, and
right.
And I'm about strong genetics. I want to bring back the rigidity of the plant, like the green crack.
Sure.
It's like pretty PM resistant. And I really worked a lot of strains for the East Coast outdoor growers, and I really focused on that for the last couple of years.
Right.
And I feel like nobody's doing that anymore. Nobody's really going on the effects. Nobody,
sure.
The terps, they're just going off of pictures and names. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's not the way to do it,
No. And I mean, everything, we have these ebbs and flows in every facet of life. And we're in the gelato phase right now and the candy phase where people are really locked in. But I also see OG making a comeback.
Oh,
and
I
also
definitely
see hazes popping up here and there. I seen the Piff and the Cuban Black and, some old school haze. I feel like they're making some comebacks. And I feel
definitely. The haze on the East Coast, the Piff, all that. You were saying the other day you were smoking some Piff.
Oh, yeah. I like Piff. I love the effect from the Piff.
Right.
And I like the taste. The taste is fantastic. It smokes good to the roach. It's another one of those.
Yeah, that's what's important.
And it's subtle, but it's one of those subtle terps. It's got subtle terpene profile. Smokes good down to the roach, and it still kind of has a ceiling compared to some hazes. You smoke some of the hazes that'll, they just kick you in the dirt. There's no coming back.
I definitely see the OGs and the hazes coming back for the smokers, the people that like the heavy smoke.
Sour D.
And they're tired of all the cookie, whatever.
All the cookie crosses or the
evolution.
And
it's just degraded or like the purple punch. It just doesn't get you high like we want to get high anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't be too upset if cookies made a comeback too, like the real cookies.
The real cookies, I really like that. I have some crosses with cookies. I'm not a cookie hater at all, but it's just the real cookies. Not all the watered down shit.
Diet cookies, diet Skittles, they're not for me.
Man, it's like it's real crazy to see.
Yep.
You're like, oh, this is cookie. I'm like, no, this is not cookies, bro. Yeah, like the real original when it first started coming around was just
the cut
really
fishing.
good.
The cut fishing has been so rampant over the last 10 years, especially with so many different things. Especially nurseries wanting to sell stuff, and not all of them. There's good nurseries and bad nurseries, but there's been a lot of cut fishing and other problems like seed junkies selling wedding cake seeds, and then we got 30 different phenos because there's a lot of different. I mean, there's literally 30 different expressions of wedding cake,
right?
And there's a good one. There's maybe a few good ones. And there's lots of mediocre
there's different.
ones.
Yeah, you could. Right. There's that one cut. A lot of people put out the separate cuts and they hoard the best cut for themselves. It's been a practice in Cali forever, It's,
since 1960, whatever. I'm sure.
It's like, that's what's been going on. And to get those real cuts and to actually breed with those real cuts is important. And that's something I strive to do. Yeah.
So as far as like the genetics, you talked about green crack, but what else were you working with back in the day? You guys had some hazes, I'm sure.
When I was just messing around making seeds, I was just making them for myself. I had a super silver haze. I had the original like purple Urkel, the one that would turn solid purple, like
smaller plant,
week 4, real smaller plant. Buds, haze, the super silver haze had that one big cola. What I mean? But I was just trying to learn. Really how to make seeds. I didn't really put any of those out. That was just for myself.
Like the super silver, like it burns your nose, kind of. Like where you actually have like. Literally, the thiols burn your nose.
Yeah, it was really good. I always thought, oh, this plant, this is so funny because I got it right when I first started growing. Yeah. And I learned a lot since then. But I would think, I always thought the plant sucked because it had the main cola and like I didn't have a proper environment room, so it would mold. The main cola would mold every time I'd like cut it off. Yeah. And it was good smoke around the thing. I was like, man, this plant molds. It sucks. No, this is actually my fault. Better grower. It was a great plant.
Sure.
So it was. It's just funny stuff, learning stuff like that along the way. Just trial and error. I've done a lot of trial and error, and I think that's the best way to learn. I feel like a lot of people get almost bombarded with the amount of information that's out there nowadays.
Totally.
And it's so crazy. The last 20 years, how much has changed, going from no information. Like when we started doing the BHO, making rosin and stuff, or not rosin, but wax. You couldn't look up a YouTube video. There was nowhere to find any information. I think the first time it came out was like in high times in like 2005. And then that's when people started trying to blow themselves up. And
I think Kay from Trichome Technologies wrote a paper about butane extraction in 1998. I believe he was the first, and it kind of slowly caught on after that. But it was like early 2000s. People were doing it on the under.
Yeah.
It was like, and then it was like wax, butter, wax. That was pretty much it. Or bubble hash. There's lots of bubble hash back then.
Yeah, definitely the bubble hash, all that stuff. And there's people, I still see people making some really good bubble hash nowadays too.
I love bubble hash. Yeah. I love the taste of bubble hash. I like putting in my joints. I like, the same thing with sift. I got some amazing sift here too.
Oh yeah.
And I love good dry sift. It's hard to find.
Right. So. I always use the trim bins.
Yeah.
Totally.
When I was doing seeds, we always,
it's the best.
I had a 50 liter, we were doing seeds, and we always used the trim bins for this stuff, and I would end up with big, huge. I used the ice cream or the gelato containers, the clear ones with the black tops.
Yeah.
And we would put them in there, and then I'd cure them out and then put them in there and put them in the freezer.
No, nice.
And pull out these awesome blocks of sift.
Oh, that's awesome. That's funny. It's a big old block of sift.
Even the autoflower sift was phenomenal. So, but you're getting a mix of plants. It's not like one phenotype. So,
right, yeah, you're getting everything with the autoflowers. You can't take clones of them. And
no, but the more generations you have, and the more stable they get,
right.
The more even the profile is, and the less muddled it becomes.
Yeah, you got to actually really breed them.
Yeah,
that's what I tell people. I was like, you got to just don't buy autos off of anybody. That they're just starting to don't understand.
Well, if you take
there's a lot of good autos out there.
There are good autos, 100%. I make amazing autos. I think there's a lot of people that make them. Not a lot,
I've
but
seen
there's
a lot
handful.
of good. I think EM Seeds, he makes some really, really nice stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But typically, even if you take two autos and you breed those together, that doesn't mean you're going to get good stuff. A lot of times it's just the opposite. Right. You have to do some refinement. You have to do a couple generations of work at the very least.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot of work that goes into breeding autos. I see that. There's come a long ways too from when they first came out now, and like a lot of people that really put the work into.
I hate it. I hate it. In
That's why a lot of people are just like, no, they suck.
I hate it. I hated autos, and Mephisto changed all that, man. Big ups to Mephisto. They paved the way for the rest of us that are making good autoflowers. If it wasn't for Mephisto, Tim and Mitch killing it, those guys are amazing. We wouldn't be here today without them in the autoflower world.
Right.
So a lot of people don't give them the proper credit they deserve, but like the autoflowers in Europe back in the early 2000s, 2010 even, 2012, they were mediocre at best. And they've changed so much. The whole European scene has changed with autoflowers.
Right.
But like good smokable products. I mean, it's still an easy plant to grow. Autoflowers are easy. If you want to grow something outside and you have no experience, or you want to grow something like, you'd even put one in your windowsill, sort of.
Right, outside, windowsill, something like that. I see people, there's a misconception, I feel like, that it's easier to grow than a regular photo period in a tent. I don't feel like that's the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like photo period is almost easier, to grow, more what's going on than an autoflower. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've never grown really. I've grown like maybe one autoflower one time by accident, but I just don't see like everybody says that there's all these. It grows faster and it does this and that. I just don't.
Well, it definitely is more vigorous, right? So like the thing is like if you even look at the seed start, a week later when you basically germinate it, like if you don't transplant it right away, you're gonna get that. It's gonna get root bound right away.
Oh, really? Those roots are real vigorous.
So, but it has a smaller, basically the root ball is it's typically a lot smaller than a photo period plant. And you're getting a taproot with it as opposed to typically if you're clone growing.
Right.
So
of
like
course. The taproot.
There's definitely some differences, but I feel like I think autos are really easy to grow. It's fairly, you follow steps. They come out really good for somebody who's a novice, but photo periods are also great for novices too. It just depends on what you want to do. I prefer 20 hours of light with my autoflowers indoors. I feel like I get the best results giving them 20 with 4 hours of sleep.
Nice.
So 20 light, 4 hours darkness. I get the best results. And then same thing with seeds. I get way more seeds when I do it that way.
Really?
When I'm breeding, like significantly more.
Oh, wow.
So
20 hours on, huh?
Yeah, 20 hours on. Gotta love that electrical bill.
I was thinking like 20 hours on, man.
Yeah.
That's a long time, doubling your bill there.
Doubling up on the bill,
Yeah, but back to this no beef, it has a really unique smell. Gasman is the one that actually bred it. Nice. And he gave me his cut and the male.
Yeah.
And I've made the F2s and we're working together, to make a lot of strains. And it's a Z Cube and a Meat Breath, a cookie dominant male.
Yeah.
With Z Cube.
Nice.
Is a cross and it dumps really good, 5%, 4 to 5%.
Yep.
And it comes out really well. I brought some we could try it out, and I also brought the second place Dabrite.
Yeah.
For sure. The seventh place Eco Clash.
Yep. So that Z Cube's all right. It's all right.
I honestly, I never really liked the Z Cube. It was smaller. Yeah. And I didn't really like
anything that has Skittles terps. It's the most interesting thing when you breed Skittles with something. You don't even need to smell them. You look for the shittiest plants in the room. That's a Skittles cross. Lean Skittles. It's like.
He did a really good job because the plant is nothing like that. It doesn't grow. It's very vigorous the way it grows. You got nice big buds. It's super frosty. I'll show you a picture of it. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And it smokes good and it presses out. I made about 30 crosses with it now. We're hunting through those and getting those out to the testers.
Yeah. And is it candy still or where does the
I would say it's like a little bit of candy.
Yeah.
In the flavor, you could taste it in the back end, but it's more like really gassy. Nice. It's real gassy, and it has a really distinct, its own kind of flavor. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to say it's like a white truffle flavor because it's not. But it has that gassiness. I don't really like white truffle.
Yeah.
The terps on it. You know,
for sure.
But I have the Zruffles with its white truffle mixed with Skittles again, of course, and that's really good. Yep. It came out amazing, and that's Canada Research and Fresh Coast collaboration.
So Snow Beef, do you know where you got the name? Because when I think of Snow Beef, I think of Wagyu from Japan, and that's my favorite.
Well, this strain was originally named Wagyu, Zwagyu with a Z. Zwagyu, everybody puts the Z on it. It was Zwagyu, but this particular pheno that we have, he named Snow Beef.
Yeah,
and it just has this special terp to it.
Yeah, I believe Snow Beef comes from Hokkaido. It's a cold region, and that is some of the best Wagyu in the world.
Right. That's what he's going for. We want to make the best stuff. We're coming for that top spot.
It's not only Wagyu, it's the best Wagyu.
It's the best. Right. That's what we want to have the best terps. We want to have the strongest terps. We want to have the best stuff in the jar. We're coming,
Nice.
We're working together to make that happen. He's on the top of his game and making the rosin. I want to get the proper results back, like what this pressed at, what it smells like.
Yeah.
Without any having to mess, to find a good guy that's making rosin that I could give my product to and trust him and everything. I've known him for years, and we both have the same goals to make the best product possible. I'm not looking to get the most out of my plants. I'm looking to get the best.
Sure.
And that's really what we base everything off of, is just the best. And I mean, we wanted to dump too eventually, but that's like the last,
right.
We're going for the terps.
Quality over quantity all day.
Yeah. If we can get it to dump at the same time, that's all the better.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm excited for what we got coming up, and with all the strains, I have a lot of good cuts that I got. I'm lucky enough to have been able to meet and get cuts from like HBK.
Yeah.
He's made like the Chili Verde.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have his Chili Verde Skittles, actually, that he gifted me before he went to Thailand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to meet him, and I've gotten a lot of cuts from him. Like I got the real dill papaya from him. And actually, we became really good friends, and I got his greenhouse before he actually went
papayas, over there. That's another one that's been renamed a bunch, but the real papaya is so fire.
It's really so is. Good. I was just so lucky to get it from him.
Extract wise, especially. It's one of those extract smokers. And then I see it named other things. Like I'm like, no.
Exactly.
That's papaya. It's unmistakable. It's very unique and really good.
It definitely really is. It was, it's still one of my favorites, and it's been popular for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, and you see a lot of brands with papaya in their extract lineup, because it's good. It washes well, and it fucking smokes amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the original one doesn't really wash that.
Oh, really?
It came out probably like 2-3% at the best, and everybody's like, oh, papaya is a 5% washer, when it's just really not. The real dill one, the pink hair, when you got it, because it's got the F1 pink hair, and a lot of people crossed it because it just doesn't press well.
Yeah.
It's like 40% in the press. We lose. So it's for the real deal one, but you cross it, and a lot of people have crossed it, and it dumps. You know what I mean? It does dump more, but you're losing that terp. You're losing that.
That's what it's all about. That terp.
Right. You need to really hunt it. They're hunting it for the percentage, and you need to be hunting it for the better percentage with the terp, without taking the terp.
100%. It's because it's all about that terp. With papaya, it tastes like papayas. Like it's real. It's got a real papaya flavor.
Real, yeah. Yeah, I just mixed it with my strawberries. It's coming out of testing right now. Like the strawberry pheno I have is it's green crack, do-si-do, cherry pie, and gelato. It's that sweet thing from Archives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just lucky enough to find a pheno that smells like real strawberries, like freshly picked strawberries.
It's hard. It's hard to find real, like specific berries, especially strawberry. Like a lot of times berries will lean. We get the raspberry boogies, and the loudberry is
right.
Berry,
it's just like berries. It's like a all around berry-y smell. But to get a specific smell in there, it's like I've been real lucky to look for those and to find them. I have a rotten peaches. It's just pure peach candy to like almost fermented, like burnt rubber.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it has the burnt rubber in there from the Gorilla Glue, And same thing with the rotten pineapples. Yeah. They're just sisters. You know, they're two phenos I named differently from the different ways they grow.
Right.
You know, that comes from the pie maker phenos where it's a special plant. You know, every pheno is really good and really different. Most of them, at least.
Nice. So what are we going to start smoking on?
Let's take some dabs. Like I said, I got the first place or the second place at the Dab Right competition just a couple weeks ago.
Sounds great.
The tractor fuel.
Yep.
That gas man entered. I didn't have anything. I didn't grow them or have anything to do with. I didn't grow them or have anything to do with breeding them or anything like that. It's just him. It was just him entering stuff that he wanted me to bring and show you guys some fire that we're going to be working on.
Yeah. And now a special message from our sponsors.
Hey, it's the best seeds in town. Beepity boppity. Seeds so good, make your mustache fly off. All right, so you want to check them out?
Yeah.
There's no beef. I haven't had that in the fridge for about a week.
It smells like OG Kush.
It smells really good.
It smells really good.
Real fire gas to it.
It's really nice.
Take this and stir it up.
Yeah.
Give it a good stir.
Some earth and some pine.
Yeah. I really like the gassiness of it.
Oh, yeah. It's super savory. Mm-hmm. It's good. Really, really nice. Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of like original OG Kush, gas, super terpy. Like, yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Definitely.
I'm all into the cold starts.
Cold starts? I'm going to get you a real dab. I said cold starts are for girls, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. Old people, I'm old. Like, old people and women. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, have you been on that show Hot Dabs yet?
No, I haven't. No,
Hot Dabs. Cool. Get this guy on Hot Dabs. He's into the Hot Dabs.
I like the Hot
Dabs.
He's
ready.
Come in my outfit. This is my alter ego here.
Bring some pizza.
Yeah, bring some pizza everywhere I go. You know. The Pizza Gang, guys. We have a huge following. Shout out to the Pizza Gang.
Yeah.
Big time following on Instagram. And
yeah, you have a nice group and you guys go live a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, diehard people out there. Shout out to all of them. Yeah. Even the haters, especially the haters now. Shout out to you guys.
Big shout out to all the haters.
Yeah, big shout out.
Thank you for giving me motivation.
Yeah, definitely. You're my biggest fan.
Yeah. I rent space in your head for free.
Let's go. Yeah, Instagram. The mean streets of Instagram is pretty. You want a smaller dab, right?
Oh yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I like taking small dabs so I can take a bunch of them. I'd rather take something like this size and take 5 or 10 dabs.
Well, definitely, especially when it's this type of quality.
Yeah,
you don't need a huge dab.
No, and you really can tell the difference of the good stuff. Yeah, right. For sure. Especially
if you're taking a huge fat, like it's like okay.
Yeah, when it's all red hot.
You need to rethink what you're doing here, but
yeah. No less than 800 degrees.
Right. Let me heat this up real quick. I got the man torch.
Yeah.
This is I feel like the best way to take a dab is the Dab Right with the Terp Slurper is by far my favorite. I took a lot of dabs, a lot of ways, and I feel like this is the best way. And I let it get down a ways. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'd like to take them colder too, but I don't like to take cold starts because I feel like cold starts are almost hotter than what I like to dab at.
Yeah, I go 375 to 400 and
yeah, exactly. Same here. Real cold. Where it's not like sizzling when you put it in there. I want it to just to melt. Just like that. Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Damn, that's good.
It is really good.
Dude.
The smell. Rocks.
When the beauty of it being so smooth, it doesn't make you cough at all, and you get full flavor. It's like it's full flavor.
He did it. He does an amazing job. You know, he's showed me his whole process. I get to go there with him where we're making this stuff together, and and a super nice, cool guy. He's definitely going to make his mark. He's coming up. He's already made a mark in the industry, but I know he's going places. Second place, once you try that tractor fuel, I forget who made it or the cross on it right now, but it is really nice.
Yeah, I really want to try the tractor fuel. It's actually DMT.
Set you up.
He set me up.
Got you on the air.
On the air, DMT.
Hallucinogens, right?
Yeah. I started out that way. I took LSD 10 times before I smoked weed for the first time. And I ran cross country in high school, and so I didn't want to fuck my lungs up. And I'm like, well, this little paper can't fuck my lungs up.
Wow, yeah.
And, 10 times later.
Yeah, I'll take them with you. I'll take the dabs with you.
Nice. Yeah, totally. And I started smoking weed after that. And being in California, like yourself, there's access to really good weed.
Yeah, I got really lucky early on, able to find a guy that was really had the best stuff, and I got a good name of having the best weed around because of them. Yeah. And it was like you show up, oh, you got the best stuff, but then it's like somebody else grew this, and it really got me thinking, who's growing this? Where is it coming from? It's a big secret back then. Mm-hmm. Where the seeds come from. Yeah, I remember getting a bag of weed and just praying that there's a bag seed in it. Right. Like we had no access like we do now. And it's
the bag seeds back in the day were always great.
Yeah, they were always great. And it's, you get a really fire sack of weed, you're never going to see the weed again. So much good weed came and gone like so fast. Like the phases of purple, so many good purples. And then all the kushes. Like all the phases of Kushes. I mean, the Master Kush was amazing, dude. Like the real old school Master Hindu Kush that was called, I can't remember the nickname for it, but it was an HK and it was super, super, super fire. Not like the typical stuff that you're seeing today. I feel like it was super special. Yeah. Exciting times. I miss all the old strains. I like the new ones too. I mean, there's some really great new ones for sure. There's a lot of really good stuff. Like, it's always good when you hear the hype strains. I'm always, you see the Purple Punch and then you see, Oreos. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, what's next? So what's popular? Oh, apples and bananas. Is it going to be another dud? And then you get it and you're like, oh shit, this is actually really good. Yeah. So it's like, bananas is a good one for sure. Finally, this is actually a good hype strain. What I mean? They're hit and miss, but there's some really good ones. There's some really, average ones too. Gotta love the mustache. Taking baby dabs. But yeah, I really like dabbing. I, fell in love with dabbing and making dabs, and I just got out of it and I got focused more on breeding. Nice. And let those guys really take off. Right. Experts, what I mean? That's the beauty of the current scene is you don't have to do everything. And as you grow and have a company, you really become a specialist in what you're good at, and you can hire people that are good at what they're good at, and everybody works synergistically together. Yeah, no, definitely. Just like this podcast here, we got Ryan behind the cameras, and we got Ben helping out, and your setup here is next level. I'm really impressed with everything you guys are doing here, especially the grow, and what I see that you guys are gonna do here is just gonna be next level. It's exciting to see the work that's going into it and everything. It's a lot of fun too. Yeah. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, I think I'm just blessed to be here doing what I'm doing now. It could be a lot worse. You want to pick another one? Yeah. We're going to go with some, what's this? The Struffles? Struffles or where's the tractor fuel? That's the, Let's go for some tractor fuel. I mean, you guys check that out. Really nice. And he does a really good job does all the logos and everything himself. Woo. All right, tractor fuel. And this has got second place at the Dabrite competition. Oh, nice. Yeah. Give about a quarter of that. Especially, I can tell you this one's strong just by the smell. It's got some power to it. Yeah, it's definitely stronger. I wish I could remember who bred it and the crosses that were on it, but I'm sure I can find out for you. I feel like it's pretty, terpy. It's
got a good terp profile.
It definitely has the best. It's almost like, you want it to transfer over. That one almost transfers over more than the smell, I feel like, into the flavor.
Taste. Yeah. And that's when you got stuff like that, it's magical. That's the magic,
exactly.
Right?
That's what you're looking for.
If it tastes better than it smells, you're onto something.
It's the first time you've done dabs on the show?
You were the first with the dabs on the show.
All right. I'm proud.
Yeah. Bringing the dabs. Yeah, I think we got some episodes coming up where we'll definitely be doing dabs, but you're the first. So.
Yeah, that's sweet. I'm glad to bring it. Like I said, Gausman's a really good friend of mine, and we plan on doing a lot of work together.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like his stuff. Oh, here you go. All right. Be all right. You'll be all right.
You're right. That is the best flavor I've had in a dab in a long time. Like literally, it smells good. It smells unique, but it tastes super good.
It tastes better than it smells, I feel like, stronger.
Well,
very good. It smells very good too, but
yeah, and it's got this nice floral character along with it. But it's not rose. It's not your typical floral profile.
Right.
But it's got like a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of floral. And almost there's a little soapiness to it too, like in a good way. Not like, it reminds me of like childhood.
Right.
What's your opinion on the sprayed terps?
I don't know. I feel like that's like an East Coast thing. I don't know.
It's a weird thing.
That's like, we don't have to worry about stuff like that over here.
Same thing with the THCA, the snowballs. I don't know if you've seen the snow cap or the snowballs where they shake the bag and put it in.
Oh, yeah.
THCA powder.
They're putting the weed in a bubble bag with dry ice.
Totally.
And shaking it. Yeah, I don't know what that was like a thing there for a little bit, I guess.
No, it's back. It's back in full force. It's back in a bad way.
I don't understand why you can't. It's not that hard just to make this. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But the basics of it, these guys have refined it. The certain temperatures, certain everything. It's real special to be getting it this good.
Right.
But the basics of it is better than sticking dry ice in a bag. And I don't know. I don't agree with. A lot of weird stuff on the mean streets of Instagram.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I think a lot of people want to create a product that's different. Right. And they're willing to sacrifice quality for one thing, or they have inferior quality and so they want to make their product better in their opinion.
Right.
Or more marketable.
Right. It's like just make better products,
Just make better products. Just do better.
Just do better,
Just
man.
do better. That goes for everybody, including myself. Like, let's just do better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're striving out here to do.
Yeah, it's the right mentality, I think.
And to teach, that's why I really want to, teach the new people that are growing, the right way about it. And kind of the older way, I guess you would say. And really promote the home growers. I can't really say it enough. That home growing is very important, and everybody should be doing it. Like you said, making your seeds and everything like that.
Yeah, I think home growing is great. I think it's all great. I think do whatever you're passionate about. Just do that. Exactly. I think the world's a better place if you do what you're passionate. If you're doing what you're meant to be doing here, I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome to be able to do what you really want to do. I feel really blessed. I got to shout out, my wife and everybody that holds it together. And we got a good business going here, but she's, I'm not computer smart or anything like that. So it's like it's behind the scenes stuff going on. She came up with the logos and like what to do type of stuff, and
nice,
a lot of help. I'm not doing it just all by myself, but
no, and that's the real world. When you start getting stuff, it's a team effort on so many levels, dude.
Yeah.
Like people see the podcast, it's a team effort. They see what I do here. It's a fucking fully team effort. there's a lot of important components that, fill the gaps. And that's, as you grow with everything, that's it, and I love working as a team. I I know that I can't do it all by myself. But I love when the team comes together and like you're a fine-tuned machine and stuff happens, and there's ebbs and flows with everything, but
yeah, definitely. Teamwork's everything. That's why I have such a good support on Instagram and working with a lot of people, a lot of stuff I got coming up too. I can't really talk about that. Working with some people right now, and so we got a lot of stuff planned for this year. Nice. Gonna be some real exciting stuff that I'm real happy for. Stuff we've been working on for a long time. So it's like, I'm really going to go, everybody's like, oh, I'm going hard in 24. It's like, we've been planning for this. We're not just like, oh, it's 2024 now. And now we're going to start going now. It's like, been building up for it and
Mario Brothers 3.0.
Look out.
I know you can't talk about
Luigi's going to get, I get a lot of shit for wearing this
You're
outfit.
the bad guy in Mario Brothers 3.0.
I'm going to tell you, everybody, they made me put it on. Okay. I get a lot of stuff for it, good and bad. A lot of people want to take, it's good. I do it for the fans, take pictures.
For sure.
And a lot of people recognize me from being live and stuff like that at the events. It's just, I like to have a good time.
For sure.
I hate people that are so serious all the time and it's just not having fun with it and this and that, it's like, we like to get out there and have a good time. And like, I just wanted to, talk about the pizza gang really quick. They're all over. I mean, we got people all over the world and it's really nice that I'm able to go to New York and Michigan and stay at people's houses for free and them to show me around and, definitely shout out New York and Michigan. Definitely, we went to the Hash Bash a couple times now. We've gone out to New York a bunch of times and
nice.
It's cool to travel around and actually meet the people that you're talking to on Instagram, face to face and get people to come and talk to you and tell you, the best feeling is like, oh, you grew your seeds and, it really changed my grow and it really helped me out or it really,
for sure,
they're just like thanking you. It's like really satisfying. It makes you feel good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So if people are looking for you, how can they find you?
TinoGenetics.com is the website. Also, Instagram. There's a lot of fake accounts.
Yeah, you got like 7 real ones too.
Yeah, we got, So it's like, you got to fight the haters, But it's just Tino's Genetics. Tino's with the S. Genetics 3 would be my main account, or 55. Tino's Genetics 559.
Yeah,
would be like my main account. Yeah, very florally, very good.
Yeah.
The best thing I like is how clean and smooth it is. You can tell it's been made well.
I feel like the terps are through the roof though. Like if you were to look at the percentage of terps in there, it's super chirpy.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, super good.
Another place they could find me is on Darkstar.
Nice.
Darkstar Genetics. He has a really nice seed bank. That's all the spots.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on the show today, man. I really look forward to hanging out again and let's do some dabs. Let's smoke some weed. I get some more tests.
Definitely.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.